Welcome. Today, I'm going to be trying something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about Dota theory and how I think we can all improve our games and or if we're already doing these things, make sure that we're doing them already. So if you want to skip straight to the meat of this video, there is a timestamp right below, or you can skip to probably a few minutes in. I'll have it marked because I'm going to talk a little bit about just before we start this intro. So go straight to that if you want to learn more on how you can improve your lane. All right. So this is going to be the start of a new series that I'm hoping to do, and feedback is essential. I'm taking a lot of inspiration from other videos, so it's going to be a bit rough around the edges with what we want to do, especially when it comes to Dota, because Dota is so complex. But I don't really want to go through all this in-depth stuff and find really niche scenarios and try and fake create them in games and stuff. So instead, I just want to talk about it. I just want to see if this works. So if it works, let me know. If you can understand what I'm talking about or you find it helpful, also let me know. Comment any way I can improve it. Comment if you think it's fucking garbage. Just make it funny. That's all I ask, so I can pin the comment. And if you like it, just like it. I appreciate it heaps, lads. Hopefully we can keep this as a regular thing where I talk about what you guys want and I deliver it in the best way possible. So let me know what works, what doesn't. We'll be going through a few things this video. And without further ado, let's just get straight into it. You want to learn how to lane better, and you want to know how to play support better, whether you're melee or ranged. Well, this is going to be the place for you, and it's going to be a real quick demonstration of what we can do. So when I'm starting as a lane support, it's going to be mainly primarily focused towards POS 5 today, but it works a little bit for POS 4, and there's bits and pieces you can take to translate. So what I like to do with the min 0 is essentially ward setups. So for dewarding blocking, there's a few ones that I always do every single game right now. And this one is just blocking this hard camp, especially if I'm Radiant support. I block this. It's going to force a Tango or a Quelling Blade. Really strong. Annoying as fuck. Not going to probably be dewarded in the first minute. And I put my second Sentry right here. It's very hard to get on the first go around, especially if you're like the dire support and you're trying to unblock this camp. You've got to really look for it. And by then, the guy's you've probably already dewarded his Sentry. So that is gold wasted. Up here, I like to cut this tree and block the camp here. And if I'm playing dire POS 5, I like to cut this tree or just place my Sentry here. And that gives me an easy deward. And alongside the other camp, it's really hard to find that one up in the higher ground. So you pretty much get a deward for free. This camp, it's really up to your imagination. Put it wherever you think it's good. You can overlap and do some creative setups here. But that is pretty much my min 0 setup for both sides. So just before we lead into the two clips of me playing both a ranged and a melee support, I just want to quickly go over how I play these lanes and how I think you should. As a melee, there's only two main rules you need to really worry about. And number one is you should try and play with the trees, because obviously if there's dual range and stuff, you don't want to be drawn out into the open. You don't really want to be poked for free. And you want to be able to draw them in, and by playing the trees that allows that. And then the second one is we want to be decisive. Think of it as we just want to go in and use our spells and what I like to call a go. So when we see a go, we'll go for it, and hopefully our carry joins us, etc. They're generally going to set the pace of the lane, the melee. They're going to make the shot call unless the other team commit on your carry. And that is the two main rules of the melee support, is just to obviously play the trees and then just go in. You've got to go in fast, use all your spells, get the kill, or if you don't, harass them and get out. For ranged, we kind of play a little bit differently. We kind of play a poke and prod play style, and we're not too worried about the lane being a little bit more drawn out and a little bit more slow paced, because that is what that's what we thrive in, is slowly wearing people down and then going in for the kill with our spells. And the second is we generally want to play pretty close to our carry, around here preferably, so we can trade effectively with their range support or their range core, and we're in the safety of being able to go back to our tower, because we are a lot more vulnerable. Range supports are way more vulnerable than melee, just due to the inbuilt shield, everything like that, armor, move speed, all that kind of good stuff. So keep that in mind when we go through these next two clips. All right, now I'm going to show you an example of kind of what's good to do in a winning game. This is a relatively easy lane. You're going to see we're going to be 2 ranged against 2 melee, so already pretty favorable. And the first thing I'm going to do here when I come to this lane is I'm going to try and find them. Obviously I'm playing Queen of Pain, so I'm going to want to harass. Don't really know who's playing 3 at this moment. I quickly find out it's Doom. It's going to be, because I'm ranged, going to hit whoever I can. Try and not fuck with the creeps too much. Obviously run back when someone comes out. I'm going to try and play around SF because we have a lot of kill potential here if any try to commit to him with the dagger slow and obviously the razors. I'm seeing pacing. I'm just checking if this block worked because I didn't cut the tree. That's why I'm pacing around like kind of like an idiot. But I'm still playing around here. Gonna hit dagger who I can. Let's see if they can commit here. And it's an easy kill. So pretty much from this point, we'd probably just give him tangos, obviously. We want to keep him regened and healthy. He's still got enough mana to go for another one, so I'm going to keep poking. He still has enough to commit to razors, and here's another relatively easy kill. I trade for him, that is fine. This is probably the first mistake I make of this lane, which pretty much shows. So we've had a pretty easy lane right so far. And at this moment, I would consider this lane is already won. They're 2 melee. They're already on the back foot behind like 2 nukes and 2 ranged. So what we should do for this guy right now is we should definitely bring him a salve and clarity. I do one of those. I bring him a clarity here, I'm pretty sure, if I can remember correctly, but I don't bring him a salve when I have the gold to do so. So this would be a proper reset right here. I give him the tango, I give him the clarity, but I don't give him a salve. Thinking that, you know, it's okay, I can put my body on the line, but they dive and kill him. So we can look back on that and see that that was definitely a mistake. And that's why I want to show to you that when you're winning lanes like this, especially if you're getting kills, like I got the kill on the Dawnbreaker and I got a lot of gold, you should be getting regen to keep the momentum going. Obviously I didn't, and that was a blunder, but we can see why. So pretty much, it's still fine. The lane is still fine by all means. They're still hard losing it. When SF come back, we should have a lot of kill potential, especially when I get level 3 with the dagger. And we're just going to skip to the next important part of this lane when you're winning. Pretty much, yeah, they can't, we kite. But the first thing I do here, and we'll go back to this, the first thing when they start backing off, and I know that we've got control of the lane, I'm going to look to stacking this camp, pulling it, and then denying them as much XP as possible. Because the wave's gonna start pushing up here, and they really can't come to the wave right now without being daggered, without being raise spammed, and obviously pressured more so with a lot of kill threat. So we're gonna stack the camp. We're just gonna poke them, and when they run back, there's no way they can contest. We're gonna get a pull off here. It's gonna be perfect. It's also gonna allow us to get a little bit of gold, which is really, really good. Obviously, we're gonna still be looking towards our SF in case they make a play, but they're not healthy enough to do so. So we get a free pull off, clear the whole wave. And at this point, there's really no recovering for them. We've kind of nailed them in the coffin. They've died twice. They've lost a few, like a full wave, missed a few creeps here. And just from here, it's just a massive snowball. We get kills. As you can see, this is just how you play it. I don't leave this guy ever. I never leave this guy. I know that there's no point, even though we're winning the lane right here, I'm not going to leave him. There's more kills. And a rich POS 1 creates a rich support. And as you'll see, when we go to the net worth, a bit later, I'm not too bad. I'm literally matching their POS 3. I have a lot of room here to do stuff. And this is like, what, 16 minutes, blade mail, everything. You can see how it translates a really crushed winning lane into a really good support game for yourself, because you just have so much to do and so much to play around. Get kills, make momentum, obviously get XP and stuff because we take the runes. But yeah, pretty much what I'm trying to say is in these lanes, when they're pushed out, I can't drag, but up here, when they're pushed out, we should definitely look to pull or stack preferably to kill a full wave if it's coming in so that we deny XP from them. Also, bring regen. I made the mistake here of not bringing a clarity and a salve, but if I was to do this again, I would definitely bring this guy a salve and a clarity just so he doesn't die. They even get less in this lane, and it's even more of a stomp, leading to an easier game for both him and I. Okay, so starting off this game, we've started off with a pretty good start. So it's going to be probably a little bit easy, but I just played this game and I didn't really feel like playing another POS 5-1, so this will have to do. As you can see, I've done my 2 Sentry setup, and I'm pretty low in the lane, but it's fine. We're going to regen up, And at this moment, I'm kind of looking for where their support is. I don't see him. I'm happy to trade with him. Second I see him, I go for him. I just want to keep him from hitting my MP because he's going to trade favorably into the MP, and I'm able to easily do a lot of damage to the Murta. So actually here, I do find the kill. Nova says a welcome. I just get it. And at this point, I kind of realize I'm fucked. The best thing I can do right now is kind of draw this guy away and kind of waste his time for as long as possible. It's not a big deal if I die here. The pathing kind of fucks me, that little rock. Don't know what the hell's going on there, but we learned the hard way, and I die, and that's fine. So coming back into this lane now, I've got a bit of gold, so I'm going to spend it on a wand. I'm probably going to bring some regen here. Actually, I bought it at the start because I got some few kills, so we're completely good for that. A salve and a tango, so we can reset, because I'm expecting to get another kill on this lane already. Without further ado, that happens real quick, and the salve is going to become very important here. But nothing out of the ordinary. We just hit people. We do what we can. And now my guy isn't the sharpest tool in the shed, so he decides that he doesn't really want the salve, and it gets cancelled quite quickly here. I kind of just used it a little bit half-heartedly because I don't know. He didn't seem like he really was backing up for it. And right here, I'm just going to play around where I like to play around. It's a safe spot. And I see he's low. And I'm going to go in because I have all my spells. Like I'm saying before, we got to be decisive. We create the plays. We can do a lot of poke and pressure. And we net a kill. And just like that, we just go back because there actually isn't any more kill potential on these guys. And the wave is pushed to the tower. That's fine. We don't mind getting some gold in the lane. Always nice. But at this point, I'm actually looking for another kill. We have a lot of kill threat with the Sprout because she has no way of actually clearing it now. Blood grenades are also super important, especially if you're playing a melee just to secure kills. And right here, I'm guessing we're going to get a kill here. I don't imagine her surviving, especially not if she misses the dead shot. Like that, we make the play. So with this final dive kill, you can see that we've kind of just completely taken over the lane. As look on the left from the net worth, I'm equal with my pos 1. We're both having a great time. And from here on out, we can snowball, pull the wave, do whatever we need to do to keep going. We've talked about how we can play a lane and how we can win a lane and what we can do in a winning position. But let's take a step back and talk about how do we play the most dire, the most disastrous lanes. What are some tools in our arsenal that we can utilize to hopefully recover the lane into a playable position or minimize the damage? Well, let's start off. You're the Chad, but you already know that. And we're going to follow up with the two enemies, which are two fucking jabronis. And then, obviously, our brick is going to be our ally. In this scenario that I'm talking about, we're going to pretend that if we leave the tower radius and we go up here, it equals dead. So, what do we do in this scenario where no matter what we do, maybe we've fated 2 kills, maybe we're just super outdrafted? What can we do in this game position where it seems so dire and hopeless? Well, something I don't even see anywhere near often enough, and I'm only starting to really incorporate into my game and really understand when to do it, is to simply avoid their other support and go get the wave and pull it then back behind the tower. Especially if we're stuck here and maybe the wave's being controlled up here or it's being controlled here anywhere, and just going up to there is super dangerous and our carry can't really get what he needs to get, then dragging the wave is always really good, and it's going to allow him at least to get some XP, at least get some farm, stuff like that, draw the wave back, make it safe. And what we can do when we do that is, well, hopefully the wave, whatever is up here, is going to slowly push, and this guy's going to have to farm it wherever he farms it. So it should only be the pos 4 joining to harass this. This is a little bit harder to pull off as a pos 5, but for pos 4s, this is going to be really a big deal, because I think just overall it's a lot easier if you're playing the pos 4 on either lane to just go obviously down here, hit this wave and pull back, and it's a lot safer and harder to contest. So keep that in mind as one of the main options. If you see no way of you stepping out of this area without just instantly dying, and maybe the wave's locked up here or the wave's locked down here, and there's just no way you can touch it for whatever reason, you can't get a pull off, look to pulling camps. pulling camps is super strong. Even when done incorrectly, I think it's still probably the best play for a lot of people because there's been so many games where we're just locked in this tower radius and my support is just sitting AFK here as I take the brunt of 2 players when their time could be better spent elsewhere. At worst, he gets drawn out. This support gets drawn out alongside that support and it gives you a one-on-one lane, which may be a lot more playable. So the other thing we can do, and this is the most dire one if we're losing it, is can we draw this guy? Is this guy able to be drawn to another lane? If we think we can net an easy kill, we should go through, take the portal, and create an opportunity up on the top lane, get a fast kill, and instantly come back. If this draws the guy, we should stay. And if we think we can try inverse tri-lane, and then this 1v1 matchup, or they have an innate farming ability like Sven or Cleave, then it's probably fine to leave them. But we should always go back, even if this guy doesn't get drawn. Don't let your carry 2v1 and get punished even more so, because just by having there, you should probably be giving him just a little bit of breathing room to at least allow him to get XP in the lane at worst. So going on to my next really, really crucial point, probably the most crucialest point of here, is just don't leave your carry in a winning lane. There's so many scenarios where I will be the carry here and my support, because we've gotten 2 kills or we've netted a few kills, they will leave me to 2v1 when they rotate top. What I want you to think about is a foundation. You're here to build this guy up. The more you can build him up so that he can independently do his own thing, the better it is. So if you're with a Ricky carry, if you're with a Kez, if you're with anything that's insanely volatile and you get a few kills, don't leave the guy. Only leave the guy if you think you can net a quick kill that's worth it, where his lane is safe, or you think you can go to the top lane, get the tower, and go instantly back. There's too many times where I'll be winning a lane as a carry, and my support decides that he wants to go and do some plays because this lane is secured, when in fact, most of the time when they do this, we end up getting 2v1 down the back, and I start to be having a miserable time. I start to lose waves, and I fall behind in what should have been an absolutely great lane for both of us, which nets us many more kills if they hadn't have left. So I just want to keep that in mind. Don't leave your carry. Think of your role as a 5 as you're a babysitter. And that's just where the main point where I say I think people at lower MMR and people at higher MMR do so well as a POS 5 is because they stay in the lanes. The problem with when you're getting, maybe this is more applicable for your MMR range, maybe you're 5,000, maybe you're 6,000, 7,000. But what I have seen in these games from my support is that you constantly like to go and do your own thing, when as a POS 5, you should sit back in a 1 lane and create a great foundation for your carry. All you can do is farm the small camp. Maybe you can CS it, pull it, stack, do all these things and get kills and just solidify the advantage. It's the worst thing you can do is if this top lane is losing, for you to rotate to try and save it and then cause this lane to lose as well. Because think of it, the POS 1 is the backbone, and especially if they're volatile and they don't have a easy farm ability like Sven, etc., you should not be leaving them, especially in a 1 lane. Crush it harder, and once they get what they need to, whether it be the defusal or the first few items that they can then safely, I guess, contest the other core, then leave them, then do other things and make plays. But do not leave them at 6, 7, 5 minutes just because they've gone off to a good start. So with that, that concludes the video for today. If you want to know anything, or if you have any questions, or you want me to cover another topic, let me know. But I just want to quickly summarize. So that means for this, when you're supporting as a POS 5, don't be afraid to be decisive as a melee, or poke and prod as a range. Never be full mana, put your body on the line. Think of yourself as creating a great foundation for your POS 1 to take away the game with, because a rich POS 1 is a rich support. If you want to see anything else, let me know. If you want to catch me live, I'm live on YouTube all the time and also Twitch, and that will be down in the linked description or whatever if you want to follow me there. I appreciate you all. Peace out.